What's good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's happening to the market so far and some very important levels to be watching for and what the trends are suggesting so far for all these different tickers. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. The offer ends in just 9 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. Looking at Tesla, one of the things I said in the morning was we had this gap that was forming on Tesla, this nice gap up. I told you Tesla should pop a little bit, then continue to start sinking as we open. And since we opened, Tesla just continued to decline. And then I told you to watch that 220 support. If we lost it, watch 216.8 potentially to be tested. That's where Tesla went to, very close to where Tesla declined to. It actually went down to about 216.4 before making an attempt back up. But so far, Tesla's looking weaker, and we got this pullback that we were talking about. But the question now remains, will Tesla continue to pull back, or is Tesla going to try to hold this support? And right now, the market's starting to look weaker. It's not really like flushing down extremely hard or super fast. So far, it's been more of like a slow decline. We're getting some very important things that are going on, which are going to dictate the way this is moving. So I'm going to break all of this down for Tesla, SPY, and these tickers and break down some supports. Let me first mention that one thing that's making a lot of headlines is the fact that Tesla plans on basically expanding its innovations, its growth, and etc. for a $25,000/euro EV to be built. So that's once again going to be very awesome for them if this is built in Berlin. So this was some good news for them as they're trying to improve and incorporate the robotaxi into this technology. But for now, this is just something that they're working on. This is not like officially confirmed. They haven't released this yet. And I think this could be very awesome for them. So with that news coming out, Tesla popped in the morning. But since then, it's been declining. So we're going to be watching some key supports. From a technical standpoint, you're going to be watching this resistance right here. Resistance is going to be at, and key resistance, is going to be in this 218 area, 218.5, this previous resistance becoming support. If we get above that, watch 220. If we break that, watch 222.5. And then the next level is going to be closer to 225. If we get above 222.5, that's when Tesla could turn bullish. As of right now, we're not even close to that, and Tesla's looking weaker. Right now, we're testing this 216.25 to 216.8 area. That's where we have historical support, and we're entering this chop zone. That's going to be our key support. If we lose the 216s, watch Tesla decline towards this 214 to 215 area. That's where we have this demand zone where we've seen a lot of chop and lots of buyers trying to defend around these areas. That doesn't mean Tesla's going to bounce super hard. It just means that we might see Tesla chop around here at the very least. And if we end up declining and losing 214, I expect Tesla to come down to 212, followed by 210, and then 208. So right now, it's very important to look at our trend. Tesla is starting to curl on the 4-hour time frame, turning more and more bearish, just like SPY and many other tickers. And we're about to test this 215 area close to our 50 EMA on the 4-hour time frame. Tesla's looking like it's reversing right now. We had this bearish divergence since the morning, and Tesla looks like it may have more downside as the 4-hour is looking like it's losing a lot of bullish momentum and we're turning more bearish for now. On the daily time frame, you're going to notice that we had a potential rejection candle that formed, and Tesla is starting to flip right now, and this could lead to even bigger declines as time goes on. Now we have this gap down here on Tesla. This gap could fill, but there's no confirmation yet. We need to lose this gap support. We need to lose 212. Then Tesla could come down to fill the gap. Right now, there's still some hope Tesla could try to hold above that level. But it's looking weak on the daily. It's looking weak on the 4-hour. And the odds favor the trend to decline for a very healthy pullback. It's not just Tesla. It's the whole market that's moving in unison. Because when you look at SPY, we're seeing something quite similar, I would say, that's developing. It's not super similar, but somewhat similar. So on SPY, I was talking about this thing potentially getting a slow decline. That's what we're seeing so far. It's slowly going lower and lower, not super fast. And we were due for some kind of pullback. So I was talking about this thing either getting one more pop and then a drop, or just dropping from where we basically opened. And that's what ended up happening. We just dropped from where we are. So I would say that we're going to be watching this 434.5 supports. If we lose this, there's some support right here at 434, but it's very, very minor. It's not super strong. The next level to watch for it's going to be important is closer to like 433 to 433.5. That's where we could see this thing test very soon, and we might see some buyers trying to defend it there. Now, even though we have historical chop around there, if we lose 432.5 to 433, I expect a bigger drop to be coming, and we're going to likely come down to fill the gap all the way down to the I would say the high 430s, so like 430.8, for example, around that area is going to be coming if we lose that 432.5 to 433 area. So watch those supports very carefully. For resistance, watch 435 flat, 435.5, and then we have 436, which is where we have some tight resistance. There's some resistance at 437, but not as strong as 438. But right now, when you look at the current trend on SPY, the daily looks like it's showing signs of a rejection. This could start to curl. The 4 hour is starting to turn more bearish. You can see the 4 hour is losing a lot of bullish momentum, and we're testing our 5 EMA. That's what's trying to hold this thing up. If we lose that on the 4 hour, this thing is going to decline more. And as of right now, it's looking a little bit weaker, and we're still overbought on the 4 hour time frame. So it is due for a slight pullback after establishing this bearish divergence since yesterday. Sorry, not yesterday, since Friday. So SPY is looking more bearish. It looks like the odds favor more downside looking at the bigger time frames, and it looks like it's going to be a slow decline. It's not going to flush all the way down. It's just slowly going lower and lower. The odds do favor that continuing as of right now, but make sure you watch the support in the 433 area. Now, besides that, we also have Aapl. Aapl is looking decent. It was trying to bounce, but we had that tight resistance at 180. It is starting to lose more momentum because when you look at the trend, we have our key support at 178, and I think we're going to get very close to that lower level. We're losing some momentum right now, so I could see it declining a little bit more, but very slowly on Aapl. But Aapl has some relative strength right now, thanks to some good news, and Aapl is still holding up. So Aapl looks like it's not going to cause a big flush in the markets. It's just slowly declining, slowly falling. We're watching 178.5 then 178 as key supports, but I think that this may continue on this path. Watch 179 and then 180 as key resistances. 180 is going to be a stronger resistance to watch, where it's going to be very important. So watch that level in case we do try to make our way back up. But as of right now, it looks like Apple's slowly declining and the odds favor more downside. Nvidia did something very similar to what we were predicting. I was thinking Nvidia would either fall from where we opened, or it could get like a little pop to get very close to 460 and then end up declining because of this liquidity that these market makers and institutions were triggering. So we have a head and shoulders like pattern right here, and we have this unfilled gap down at 450. I anticipate Nvidia has a little bit more downside coming, and we're going to likely see this thing turn a little bit more bearish just temporarily, and we're going to watch to see if 450 holds, because when you look at the 4 hour time frame, we got a nice rejection candle off this bearish divergence, and Nvidia has support very close to the 5 EMA at 450.9. That's what the 4 hour is showing us. The daily is also looking a little weaker. Look at the daily candlestick. We have a potential rejection, a reversal candle that's forming, and on the 30 minutes time frame, we're also looking more bearish. So Nvidia looks like we got that little pop for the liquidity grab, and this drop is coming, forming a head and shoulders like pattern. There could be more downside coming, so I'm going to be watching this gap very carefully. I think Nvidia is going to test 450 very soon. Now, it could even break 450 if we do end up losing that. This thing has potential to come down to 448. If we lose that, 444 is coming. That's a key support from historical data. And if we lose 444 on Nvidia, I expect 442, then 440. And then 438 is another key support. But 438 and 444 are the two main ones. So make sure you watch those levels very carefully and watch 450 above that. So watch those levels. Just know Nvidia is looking a bit more bearish. We also have resistance at 452.5, not to mention 455 above that, and then we also have like 458. But we look more bearish. The odds do favor 450 coming soon, and I could see a little bit more downside nonetheless. The QQQ also established a bearish divergence. I think it was today or today or Friday. Let me just double check this. So it was actually today. Sorry about that. So today we established a bearish divergence. The 30-minute looks more bearish. Looks like we're going to be testing 366 soon if we lose 368. And on the 4 hour time frame, same levels are basically evident. Same technicals as well as SPY, as we're losing momentum on our MACD, and we're starting to curl very nicely. And on the daily time frame, I could see this potentially getting a nice rejection candle, and I could see a little bit more of a decline coming very soon, very similar to that of Tesla and SPY. So what do I anticipate? I think we're going to be watching 368 on the QQQ. If we end up holding below that, expect this thing to start declining towards 367. Support is not that strong there. The strongest support is going to be 366. I think we're likely going to test 366 soon over the next couple of days or sooner. For resistance, watch 369, basically very close to that area. Then we have 370 above that. We have some tight resistance in this 369 to 370 area. But nonetheless, like I was showing you on the 4-hour, just like SPY, the odds favor the downside, especially if Apple declines a bit more. Nvidia is going to play a big role, and Nvidia looks like it has more downside, so that's going to play a big role in why I see some more downside. So I'm not saying the market's going to crash. I'm saying it's going to be a slow decline, and we're going to be watching these levels very carefully. All right? Thank you for listening. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again, and peace out.